Elon Musk seems really intent on just running Twitter into the ground at this point. I think he's trying to go down with the ship. It seems like he's reinstated Alex Jones on Twitter, which look, there's two sides to this. There's a business side and there's the is this correct side, because things can be a great business move and a horrible thing to do. There are businesses that manufacture weapons. You know, if there weren't any of those businesses, we wouldn't have as catastrophic wars. All right. But they make a lot of money, so they're a good business decision. For example, all of the money that I make on Patreon, because of the conflict in Israel and Palestine, I'm going to be investing it in weapons manufacturers, and I'm going to be a millionaire.
Lockheed Martin's number one investor.
Absolutely. That's what I'm there. It's sucked in. You guys are supporting genocide. No, I'm going to give it to the bank that's probably investing in Lockheed Martin anyway. Anyway, you know they are, right? That's where all my money's going, straight into fucking Lockheed Martin. I've got no say in it. Anyway, yeah, he's bringing back Alex Jones, which I think is a terrible business decision. Like the most fucked thing. He's already come out on stage and called out Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, by name, and then gone fuck you to the advertisers. You know, every advertiser is going to be like, okay, we're not going to put ads on Twitter. And that's even like disregard the fact that the Twitter ads don't even work. You know what I mean? Like they don't even get a return on investment. And then the CEO of the company is going, we're not going to work on making them better, and fuck you. They're going to be next to racist tweets. It's, you know, putting aside whether or not this is like a correct thing to do for freedom of speech, it's a bad business decision. And now he's bringing Alex Jones back on Twitter, which is really interesting because it comes to this like argument of like, can a person who has really, really fucked up have social media at all? Because the thing with Alex Jones is he's lost his cases with the Sandy Hook thing. He said the Sandy Hook was a hoax. He accused a lot of the parents of being crisis actors, and he has to pay. He lost his suits. He has to pay $1.5 billion. So, you know, no one has that money. I don't know how they're going to recoup it from him. He's probably just going to have to go for bankruptcy and then build up again, because that's how the system works, unfortunately. Oh, I'm bankrupt, and then, you know, make $1 million with a new business under a new name, and then, you know, rich people don't suffer consequences type thing. But it's an interesting moral thing of like, should this guy have Twitter at all? And it's very interesting because Elon Musk has previously said that he hated Alex Jones because of the Sandy Hook thing. Like, Elon is someone who has had a child die very young, so it's a very personal issue to him. And he said that, you know, that Alex Jones is evil. Now he's like, oh, let's let him back on Twitter. But he did do it with a poll as well. And most people voted that, yes, Alex Jones should be allowed back onto Twitter. So, you know, is Elon Musk the bad guy for doing this? Or is most people on Twitter bad people for wanting him back on the platform? Or is it not even a moral thing? Should everyone just have access to social media regardless of how good or bad they are and the mistakes that they've made? It's like I think it'll be really entertaining to see what he tweets. Yeah. I think he's a bit of fun. You know, I think that Alex Jones is harmless if you don't believe anything that he says and just watch it as entertainment, like the WWE, which, to be fair, is what he has said in court. He said that I'm playing a character. Nothing what that I say is true. I'm playing it up for the camera, and Alex Jones is a persona that doesn't actually exist. You know, but is that true, or is he just trying to get out of the defamation case? Probably the latter. What do you think? Do you think he should be on Twitter?
I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
I think the same. It's entertainment.
Yeah, I think it's such an interesting one of like, it's like there are so many fucking crazy loons that follow Alex Jones that probably do and have done awful things. that are encouraged by him, but not like encouraged as in Alex says, go and do this thing and they do it. More just like, oh, Alex Jones would like if I did this and they go out and do it. It's like, yeah, he just has like people like that have a ridiculously high paranoid schizophrenic fan base, you know? And it's like, should they be responsible for those violently mentally ill people? Probably not, because you can't control that many people, especially when you have millions of followers. But is it something that you should just quarantine from the rest of the world? Maybe. But I always err on the side of freedom of speech. I think that someone can be wrong and can say things that are incorrect and cause harm and shouldn't really be ostracized from, you know, the public square, I guess. You know, because he has suffered his consequences. He got sued and he's gone bankrupt, or he's going to lose everything, or it's going to be very, very difficult for him to operate his businesses going forward. And everyone knows that he's a fucking crazy guy that got this Sandy Hook thing very, very, very wrong. And that's your consequence. I don't think you should be limited from speaking, even if I disagree with the guy heaps and all the time. But he's also a bit of fun. I can't deny that he is one of the most entertaining people on the internet. You know, the reason why Andrew Tate rose up was because there was a gap left by Alex Jones of like craziest dude saying the most outlandish shit from a studio. You know, that's what we were missing. You know what would have been cool if Alex Jones came back with a 6-pack and bald and started smoking cigars and just started doing Andrew Tate's thing. I would love to see them beef.
Yeah.
I would love to see those two beef. That'd be awesome. You know, who's going to win the battle of the most mentally unwell fan bases? You know, people who think that that the government is against them versus people who think that women are against them. Both as schizophrenic as each other. But yeah, I think I don't know. I just really don't like when people get fucking deplatformed from every social media site all at once. I think it's a little bit different if you're like actually actively inciting violence all the time. Get rid of that. We don't need that. But for someone who's just like unbelievably wrong a lot of the time, but also sometimes unbelievably correct. Chemicals in the water turning the frogs gay, that was actually true, or mostly true. They were turning them into women.
It all happens on X.
It undeniably all happens on X. But that's like the moral side of it. The business side of it is, this is just the worst business decision he could possibly make. Like, all these advertisers are like, should we have ads on Twitter? Should we have ads? Well, they're not really making us money. But then businesses like, say, Ford or Toyota or big car companies are like, well, we don't necessarily need to make money on ads. We just need our brand to be seen all the time. Because like when I advertise, I want to see how much money I spend and how much money I get back, because I sell cheaper products. But when you're selling like, $30,000 vehicles, you know that no one sees an ad and then goes online and buys the car. That's not how it works. Your business model is just to put your brand everywhere, in movies, in TV series, on billboards, on radio, on TV, online, everywhere, so that when someone thinks, oh, I need a car, they think Toyota or Hyundai or whatever. And it's those businesses that really pump money into places like Twitter, because they don't necessarily need to see a concrete return on investment. They just need to see a return on awareness. So it's those ones that are going to be the big bucks for Twitter that they will lose by having the Sandy Hook is a hoax guy on their platform as like the biggest trending news story in the world. When you think of Twitter, you think Andrew Tate and Alex Jones. Chicks are whores and the government is trying to kill us and it's run by Jews. That's what Twitter is now. That's what people think of when they see Twitter, and that's what's ultimately going to make it shut down. Like, I don't see... It's thunder. It's crazy outside.
Making the house shake.
I don't see... I guess it seems like the only way that Elon can keep Twitter running is by just burning millions and millions and millions of dollars of his own personal cash, which he already has done to the billions, right? Because he spent, what, $44 billion on Twitter, and now it's worth nowhere near that amount?
20 billion now.
It's worth 20 billion now. So so he's already lost, theoretically $24 billion in value. And it's got to be costing him fucking millions of dollars a month just to maintain the state that it's in right now. And advertisers are leaving in droves. He himself said, they're trying to kill Twitter, which I don't think advertisers are trying to do. I don't think there's like some giant cabal of like, let's get rid of Twitter. I think it's just like, we probably shouldn't have our ads on the Alex Jones, Andrew Tate site because, women are the ones that control the spending in households. And if women don't like thing, they won't let you spend money. So let's take our ads off this platform that chicks hate.
Do you still use Twitter? X, formerly known as Twitter?
I use it so much less and I dislike it so much more because all I see... honestly, all I see now is just like actual war footage of people dying, people getting shot in the streets in America, like CCTV footage, and fucking animals getting killed, like crocodiles eating shit and lions taking down a fucking boar and it taking a really long time to die. Like that's what I see, and I keep hiding it. I keep going, I'm not interested. I never. People go, oh, that's what you interact with. I never do. I fucking hate seeing it. I always hate seeing it. I always hit not interested, and it keeps getting shown to me. Hey, do you want to see someone die? Like I'll be scrolling through and I just see someone get stabbed. I'm like, oh, it's in my brain now. So I can't look at it anymore. I post my tweets and I leave the app. Everything else I'll still scroll. I try to limit my social media usage, but I actually fucking hate using X.
Formerly known as Twitter.
Formerly known as Twitter. Sorry, you do need to always say that because X is such a... God, man. As soon as he renamed it to X, I was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Like this guy...
The everything app.
Has... Yes, shut up, bro. All right? That's Facebook and Facebook's in the fucking mud.
Yeah.
I don't want an everything app, okay? I like having my fucking messaging app and I like having my dumb videos app and I like having my shopping app. I don't want to fucking open up Facebook and see, oh, marketplace, oh, groups, oh, fan page, oh, a video, oh, messages. I fucking hate seeing all of that shit in one spot. It's overwhelming. So I avoid it. And yeah, X is just horrific. You deleted it because it was like instant. As he took over and he was like, all right, let's get rid of all of these pesky rules. And then all of a sudden I saw like 100 people die horrible deaths.
Yeah. YouTube Shorts was a lot like that when it first launched, but now it's a much better place.
Yeah. You're on YouTube Shorts.
I was.
I thought you were getting a little bit dumber.
Now I'm just on Reels.
Yeah.
Reels is just so fun.
I like Reels. Yeah. Reels is good. TikTok's interesting though now. It's getting longer.
Angry. Yeah.
TikTok, the videos are getting longer because they want to monetize, whereas Reels is like just trying to be what TikTok was when it started. So I'm liking Reels a little bit more.
Yeah. I kind of abuse your inbox full of Reels that I find hilarious.
Oh yeah. I have like, man, my mum sends me Reels and they're all stuff that I saw 18 months ago and I just pretend that I've never seen them. I go, wow, that's such a good one, Mum. And I'll send her one back, There's something that I saw 18 months ago that's just starting to pop up on Instagram. She's like, classic. I'm like, isn't it good? That's the thing. All these people, that's a great way to bond with your parents, man, is just pretend you've never seen what they're sharing to you. Mum sends you a video that you've seen 6 times on a different platform 18 months ago. You go, fuck, where'd you find this? You're a bloody internet connoisseur, Mum. Yeah. So X, I think. How long do you reckon it has left? Honestly, I want to know what you guys think. It's got to have, 18 months.
It's been 18 months since he bought it. I don't see it lasting 18 more months.
I only see it lasting 18 more months because he's so fucking stubborn. I feel like that once Twitter's bills start eating into Tesla, which is publicly traded, investors are going to go, no way, you cannot spend Tesla money on the fucking gore death Nazi website.
I listened to the audiobook of his new biography. Yeah. And it goes for about 25 hours. The first 10 hours is his life and it's interesting. Mm-hmm. And then the last, 14 hours is just about him buying X.
Right.
and it is just delusional and really sad to listen to.
Yeah, it seems like such a vanity purchase. Like it's like he bought it because people love him on there. They love him, right? Everyone on Twitter like really, really likes him. And a lot of that is because as soon as he bought it, everyone posting negative shit about Elon Musk got a few bans handed out and accounts deleted. Like that was horrible, I thought. Like literally within the first week, I remember I saw about 15 accounts just get banned for criticizing Elon Musk. And you could tell it was him going into the office and going, fuck that guy, get rid of him. Because it had like 100,000 likes.
Yeah.
And he's like, get rid of him. And you know, you do what your boss says. So I thought that was awful. And I think that culture has still kind of hung around on X, where there's just like this overwhelming like energy of like, if you criticize Elon and it goes viral, your account's next. And so it definitely seems like a guy who really just wants to be liked, buying an entire social media platform so that he can have a bunch of friends. It seems really sad. Yeah. It's working, but it seems really sad. So what else? Was there anything that made you go, oh, wow, in that book?
I kept laughing because so many times throughout the book's not written in like an endearing way, but it's also not written in like a negative way. It's just
tries to be objective.
Yeah. He'd just pull aside like an engineer at Twitter and be like, this is your task. You have 7 days to complete. If you cannot complete the task, I'll accept your resignation.
Yeah.
And so many times the employees would just go, all right, well, I won't even bother doing it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or he'd get the best result out of them and they'd complete the project better than expected. I find that really fascinating.
That was a really interesting thing as well, because Twitter for sure, right before Elon, for sure, I reckon, and I think this is true of a lot of really big businesses, I reckon half the people in every business that has like more than 100 people, I reckon half of them are doing fuck all.
Yeah.
Just coasting.
Yeah. There was a really funny, interesting story where his cousin and like his cousin's mates, they're all like 20, 23 years old. He just employed them as like goons to kind of fire people who weren't doing the right thing or complete tasks when needed. And Elon kind of gave them this task of move the servers from the San Francisco office to the somewhere else office.
Yeah.
And all the engineers in the office were like, well, that's just not possible. We can't do it without, all the security and encryption, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So the goons, just like 4 blokes, worked out how to move them by themselves and got all the servers moved from San Francisco to the new office in like 3 days.
Yeah, like how much of...
Just because they just could.
Yeah, like how much of that website, Twitter, because Twitter was like, it's not like it was doing well before Elon, right? It was failing and drowning and it was infighting between like the Jack, the guy who founded Twitter, and the current CEO and all that kind of bullshit. Like it was kind of a doomed app anyway. And then how much of that like was Twitter's inability to evolve and change and make good decisions was just because there were so many fucking people employed there doing nothing, and the whole thing being bogged down in just admin and bureaucracy and, oh, well, we can't move something because this, and this. And it's like, yeah, but just do it.
And the other thing that's really funny is he gets addicted to video games, but not like computer games, like apps.
Yeah, he still posts videos of him playing Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And he's fucking cracked. Like, he's really good at it. Like, he posted a video of him like beating, because I played Diablo 4. I don't properly understand the super end game of it, but he like beat the final boss on the hardest difficulty by himself. Like, that's crazy, like really, really difficult to do, and requires a huge, unbelievable amount of time sunk into the game. Like, you would have to be doing it all the time. And that's a game that fucking no one really cares about. It like flopped almost immediately after it came out, sold really well. And then people were like, all the numbers and the management and the grinding and the time sink required, it's too much for me. But Elon Musk was like, I am the perfect amount of autistic for this.
It's a really interesting book.
I should listen to it.
It's a very like scary insight, though.
Yeah, he seems. He just seems like super autistic. Like he seems, and I don't mean that in like a negative way. He seems like he's super, super autistic. He really, really struggles with having relationships. I mean, you look at all of his partners and all of his children, you know, or most of them anyway. And then he is also unbelievably intelligent and smart and driven. And he's such a hustler that things that he's willing to endure and sacrifice, he expects from his employees, but that's a horrible life, you know? And he just seems like he's just, I don't know. I feel like, relax, man, you've done enough. But he can't. He's incapable of that. And then he got sucked into buying this website, and now he doesn't know what to do with it. And yeah, because how could one of arguably the most autistic people on planet Earth, how could they be expected to understand and run a social media website?
Yeah.
You know?
What does he call it? The public town square or something?
Public square, the town square.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I think is admirable. You know, I think that's kind of cool. Like that to have like a place where, you know, where freedom of speech trumps advertising dollars on social media. I think that's cool, and I think that is needed. But I also think that doesn't fucking work. Like, you can't monetize that. It's too expensive to run, and all of these people who say that they want this freedom of speech social media square, they're not going to pay for it, which is the only way to kind of run something like that, is to charge that monthly fee.